Good morning, welcome to Morning Reviews. Kim speaking on Friday the 2nd of December. So looking at the euro dollar first, and yesterday, well, eventually we ended up pretty well on the euro. It had a choppy old time, but eventually last part of the day it rallied up, closed pretty close to the highs. It does look like there's potential to continue on. I spoke about yesterday about this 21 moving average on the dailies, which we've got the monthly pivot above that now as well, so as target. So there is the potential for it to run up. However, at the moment it's struggling. It's put in a sort of reversal, sort of three candles there, shooting stars, one after the other. On the alley is very weak at the moment. It has the potential for it to roll back south towards its daily pivot, which is below at 160. Obviously, you've got the 21s beforehand, which may provide some support, but retracement back to the 8 o'clock pivot may give it an give opportunities for a downside short on this. In the short term, it's you see it's rolling over quite well, a bit oversold almost at the moment on the I say oversold, but getting a bit extreme on the RSI. At the moment, it's certainly not oversold at the moment. Okay, so potential to downside at the moment. For me to get long, well, it's a bit more difficult. I think I'd have to wait till the 8 o'clock pivots come in, and then see where we are with price action, and maybe buy back above the 60-minute 8. Okay, the pound. Pound had a really good run yesterday. Gave up quite a bit of its gains through the later session. But had a very good run as it ran up and everything else was running down. It carried on going, but couldn't hold on to it in the afternoon. As you can see on the alleys here, came back quite sharply, had a bit of a retrace, and then continued its route down towards the 21s, working off the overbought signal that was sort of showing earlier on. Okay, from here, well, we've already run back through the daily pivot. Again, we've got this sort of weakness on the alley here, which may suggest some downside. Now, if we see a break of the 21s, I'd look most likely would be a bit bearish on this. Just the trend line on here again. I got caught a little bit yesterday. It broke the trend, moved about 20 pips. Could have taken some profit off that yesterday, but left as it is, but got caught on that one yesterday. Might happen again, but I'm going to be the other side of the 21s this time, so looking for a break of that sort of area for the short side. May be able to get in a more aggressive one to start with and add to as it breaks this level if it starts rolling over more. But my preference really is obviously with this intermediate trend is towards the upside, but it could well consolidate. We do have non-farms out later on, which could spoil things anyway. So, looking at the dollar yen then, and well, finally a little reversal behind the dailies there. Although spent most of the day pretty consolidated in small ranges. Is it going to break down now? I'm still not looking to take short positions until it gets really below that daily 8 for me. But it is extremely overbought, as I said before. Looking at the 4-hour picture, where it has put lower highs in, lower lows, so it's sort of got that picture, but it may just be an ABC correction before it continues its route. It's been finding the upside a lot easier than the downside of late. That did strengthen through the afternoon, the same way as euro really had. Strengthened against the dollar. At the moment, it's got its daily pivot just above us. For the short side, maybe for smaller positions, I'd look at the break of this trend that's running through here, but it needs to be post 8 o'clock. But I would just be wary if it just sort of walks its way out in the next hour or two, because yesterday it went in this sort of more choppy moment, and I wonder if this is a bit of a transitional top that we're seeing here. So whether we'll see another day or so like this, and then it'll move over. But of course, we've got non-farms out later on, which could create more volatility there. Aussie dollar, monthly pivot above. It managed to pull back yesterday. It was selling off at one point and managed to finish the day pretty well. Has got the say monthly pivot above as a potential target. Short term, we've bounced off this daily pivot. We've almost already hit the R1, which would be a sort of a sensible secondary target if we was to be breaking up. If we do break up, it may be a target to the upside, but at the moment, to me, it's the Aussie has got stricken fundamentals, and it's from a fundamental point of view, I'd rather be on the short side if I was trading it. So these little rallies, well, and this could rally up here, in which case I believe it most likely. And well, if it does break to the downside, there is actually a trend line running across the lows here, which, provided it does it early enough, may give an opportunity for the downside, and maybe then to the S1 or more down towards yesterday's lows. There's a nice area around that 73, 75 area. And finally, the Canadian dollar. Should really look at a bit of oil before we look at the Canadian dollar. Sorry, there's the Canadian dollar, the oil price, but reasonable push up again yesterday, and then consolidation at the moment. So let's have a look what the CAD's doing. Moving down as we'd expect with the oil price. It did eventually get a bit more of a kicker. It was a bit disappointing the previous day. As I said, it looked like people had sold on the news, but the price of oil did push up later, and the dollar weakened later, as we saw with the euro yen. And what we're seeing now is a move down, really already almost back down to its daily monthly S1. Looking at the picture here, well, we've got the daily pivot above us as a potential target. If it starts softening, we could see it pushing up towards that. A break of the 21s may give a more clearer signal. To the downside, there is a bit of a trend opportunity here to be playing down for its daily S1s and maybe the monthly S3 by the looks of things there. Oh, sorry, weekly S3. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. So news-wise today, really, as I said, there is some construction PMI out at 9:30. Aside of that, we've then got news at 1:30. That's it, non-farms at 1:30. We've got Canadian unemployment figures coming out just at the same time, so watch out trading Canadian US dollar because it could get a bit messy. But if you're trading anything else, just be wary. Lots of volatility around 1:30. We do have a FOMC speaker later on due to deliver opening marks in Washington DC of what I don't know. So there is a speaker at 1:45, so just a US speaker. So any of these speakers at the moment, they're generally quite hawkish about interest rate increases. Right, that's it for me. Have a great one. Bye for now.